Okay, it started.
We're recording. We're recording, and I'm bright right now. Ah!
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360 show hosted by me, Annette, the warm-hearted warrior diva.
Mhm.
This show gives us insights on the journeys of high-achieving business owners, artists, authors, athletes, everyone under the sun. The purpose is giving an audience the understanding that we're building a strong community of like-minded individuals on the road to greater success. Today's show is a collaboration between NNO 360 and Mr. Josh Portillo.
Yes. Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me on, Annette.
Thank you so much. And just to give a little background, he is a 6-year experienced Asian American voice actor based in Orlando, Florida, close to Disneyland. Disneyland, Disney
Mhm.
World, one of the two.
Disney.
This
I
Disney.
get confused. It's just the land of the mouse. Land of the mouse.
Right. Land of the
Mouse
Mouse.
land. Yep. That mouse is
And
gonna steal my money.
right.
Jeez. Hmm.
And you worked with Nintendo,
I have.
Vita
Yep.
Proteins,
Yep.
Crayola.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the list goes on. I don't want to like steal your thunder. So
That's all
let's get
good.
into this. Okay.
It's
We
all
have
good. It's
several
all good.
questions.
It's all good, girl. It's all good.
And most notably, I wanted to tell everyone is that he also stars as the new Black Lion and Cubs character Mighty Moto. So maybe you can
I
fill us in
do.
as
I do.
well.
I
Shout out to
do.
Hotep with
Hotep.
Black Lion and
Hotep.
Cubs.
Hotep, the man who's going to revolutionize.
Right,
Revolutionize, man. He's going out there, man.
right. So can you start off with letting us know who is Mr. Josh Portillo?
Who am I? 24601, if anybody gets that reference. But no. That's a Les Mis reference. But who am I? Um, I don't know where to start. I'm a guy who basically just, if you meet me in person, I'm pretty just like awkward. I just like hanging out with friends. I like playing video games. I like sitting on the couch, watching TV, all that kind of stuff. But, besides that, besides hanging out with friends and all that, I like, working out. I like, voice acting, of course. That's that's my occupation. But, if anybody were to get to know me more deeper, it's a guy who, again, truly, cares about his friends, who loves his mom very much, and is doing his best to, do with what everybody who has put time into him, making himself into something, but growing into something, you know what I mean? So there I don't really know where to go from there, but just a guy who's just trying to do the best he can, you know. So and make everybody that he cares about proud. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the introductions. And again, my condolences and prayers to you and your family.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
and I'm just so grateful to be part of the team Black Lion and Cubs and
Oh
getting
yeah.
to know you through Hotep. And
Oh yeah.
the whole team is just wonderful. And
Very
so,
positive. Very
yes.
positive. Very positive. Hotep is great, man. He's very open, he's very inspiring. And he wants to learn too. That's something, he's very humble and he wants to learn. And I see his product, Black Lion and Cubs, which I'm blessed to be a part of as Mighty Moto. You know, I could see it very much being, something that gets, kids, to get into anime. Because right now, it's like, to me, like, you don't have that one anime to really get like younger kids. I'm talking like pre-K,
Mm,
kindergarten, to get into anime. Because anime is definitely, it can be a mature, a mature medium. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to, have Black Lion and Cubs be an entryway for that, that's revolutionary. That's very innovative. And that's, just to see, it on like shelves on book fairs, and kids like playing the games, and reading the manga, reading the material that Hotep has. It's very inspiring. So that's why I see it coming, and it could be the Dragon Ball Z for kids basically. And then when they grow up, they're like, oh my gosh, this is just like Black Lightning Cubs. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Right, right. It's just an amazing platform for the youth, and then you being both being part of this, and so moving on. Can you share your journey with us in
Yeah,
your voice acting journey? What inspired you to pursue the career
definitely.
path?
Definitely. So, I mean, a little backtracking, if that's okay, Annette. I don't mean to take too much time, if that's okay.
Sure.
Gotcha. All right. So, growing up for me, anybody who knows me very well, they would know that, majority of my life I've been very, just not too confident, not, very low self-esteem. I was very self-conscious growing up with, excuse me, with how I spoke, how I looked, and how much, and that goes along with how much I weighed, and just again, just being around people. I always felt awkward, and I'm not even saying that jokingly. I just felt, being bigger and being, sounding different, with how I just spoke. I definitely needed speech therapy, which I did take from like I believe first grade to fifth grade, and I should have still been in it, but I wasn't. Um, I definitely needed that, but putting that with my weight, I think the highest I was, I believe, yeah, 345 pounds in the sixth grade. That was the highest. And, being like 5'9" or something like that, being kind of tall, it just really was a weight for me. And not to mention the mental health, aspect of it. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I want this podcast to be, relatively uplifting. Um, Unfortunately, when I was younger, um, my dad, my mom, and I, we were in this really toxic environment, and my mom and I suffered from that. And it's just how things were. And I just remember her, raising me up, trying to be the best person I can be, giving me the foundation of how to be a man, how to be just a young man to accept, like, when you make mistakes, try to correct them, try to learn from them, see the mistakes from others, don't judge them too much, of course, but like, learn from them as well, and just, go from the heart. And that's what she taught me. And as I grew up, it was hard to really kind of traverse on like what I liked, what I disliked, what I wanted to do in my life. And of course, you don't really know that when you're a kid. And for some adults, and not hating on other adults who don't know what they're doing. Life is a journey. Your occupation can definitely change, and people can have multiple reasons to be on this earth, why God put us on this earth. I'm a believer. So it's crazy. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place,
No,
but
you're fine.
um being in that environment, seeing my mom kind of like go through it with me. And of course, my dad, he had his issues, and deep down, I know he was a good man. He just had issues like the rest of us. And back then, mental health wasn't really, you know, put into the forefront. Therapy, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't really, like you can do it, that type of thing. It was like, and I can only speak for men. I can only speak for men. If you're a man, a working class man who, he works 6 to 7 days out of the week with no break. It's like, you probably have a lot on your mind, and you don't feel like you can talk to anybody about it. And besides your family, and that can weigh on a person. And ever since he passed away, which I was able to make peace with him, before he passed, it gives you a different perspective. Of course, you never you forgive but never forget on some of the things that, the people in your life that hurt you, they did. But, after they're gone, it's like you give them grace. It's just like, yeah, he was a guy that was probably hurting. And then, the same thing with my mother, who unfortunately passed, not too long ago. And just the mistakes that she may have had, the few mistakes, it's like, who cares? Like, you just love them for who they are. And, and they, and this is a good leeway too. My dad was the best hibachi chef in Jacksonville. He was the best entertainer, hibachi chef person in Jacksonville, Florida. It was in the newspaper. I remember that when I was like 13 years old. My mom was, it wasn't in the newspaper, but it's a good thing to know, like for me at least, that, growing up, I saw that she was the best barista. She knew how to talk to people and in a genuine way. She knew how to serve people. There'd be lines of people at the place she used to work at. And, it's like, people wanted to see her because she made them smile. She made them laugh. It's like, it's not just getting your coffee, it's a family affair, you know? And, they were the best at what they did, even though, in life, they weren't, I know for a fact they weren't able to do what they wanted to do. I know my mom wanted to be in the Coast Guard, and I know my dad wanted to be a pro surfer. They would have kicked butt and all that, but life, they didn't. So, I knew deep down growing up that, or at least by the time I was like 20, 21, 22, honestly, I knew that whatever I find that I'm going to be passionate about, I need to go full force in and be committed and do what they probably would have wanted to do at that age. And so, growing up, it, going back to me, I guess, leewaying off of them, didn't really I didn't really talk well. Like I said, I stayed reserved in playing video games, and just, that's how I coped, with being, overweight, and from the things I saw when I was younger. And we've all seen things when we're younger. That's, a lot of people have different traumas that, we all can't understand. For me, it made me very, at some point when I was like 8 years old, very suicidal. And, I played with that idea a little bit, and it was very
Mm.
scary. And going forward, you just feel miserable, and, you just don't know what you wanna do. And for the longest time, I was just really scared on, like, is this what life really is? And, thankfully, when I was 13, I stumbled upon football,
Mm.
and,
Okay.
my coach at the time, who I'll leave his name out for his
Mhm.
privacy,
Mhm.
um, he, taught me to, like, really, zone in, to really lock in. And, uh, he taught all the kids that. Him and the other coaches, he really was the one that drove, the motivation, led me and a bunch of other guys to lose a bunch of weight at that age,
Mm.
middle school.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I remember losing like 145 pounds in like 7 months because of him. Um,
Wow.
and it was truly inspiring, truly, like, it showed me that things can be done. And, um, going into high school, I wanted to do football, and get a football scholarship and really help my mom out. That was my dream in life. That was what I wanted to do. I didn't think about anything after the fact. I didn't care about college. I knew a college scholarship for football led to college, duh, but I didn't think about anything after that. And, that was always deep down my motivation. There were other motivations, of course, but that was my main one. And, while football didn't really get the job done, there were other people that kind of, helped out in the end. My friends, who I've been friends with for basically 15 years now, which I know is rare. I know is very
Mhm.
rare. I live with two of them, and we were able to help her, and she was able to, because of that, live another 10 years and meet her soulmate, my stepdad, who's a very great man. And, it was beautiful to see. It wasn't perfect. She had a lot of trauma to deal with, but was definitely a dream come true, to see her happy finally and to live a life with a man that she loved. That's a dream come true.
Mhm.
And, it was around, that time of her having that time with my stepdad is when I kinda stumbled upon voice acting. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life after football, and I was like, "Man, I gotta figure something out because I don't know what the heck I'm doing." Um, I met up with a friend of mine who, again, he's like a brother, and he wanted to play this one video game series called Danganronpa. And so we went into my dorm room at the University of North Florida, and we just did all the voices, we just, we acted out all the characters, and I stumbled upon every line. I didn't know how to talk, which is funny because in high school and we did musical theater together. That's a part I left out. In high school, in my senior year, I joked about doing musical theater in chorale. I joked about it. I actually did it, because my mom said, "You're a man of your word. Don't
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'll do it." So I did it, and, we did, like in my senior year of high school, we did Phantom of the Opera and Fiddler on the Roof. Yeah, we did a
What?
lot, yeah, and then in college, I kinda stepped back a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I did a few operas
Mhm,
doing
mhm.
background work. I did a few acting classes, but, I wasn't really ever serious about acting until, I met up with my friend. We played that video game series, and, you know, I say nowadays, I got into voice acting to kind of support a friend, you know?
Oh, wow.
I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. Voice acting was never, like, something I dreamed about doing whenever I was younger. It
Hmm.
never was. It was something I was always inspired by,
Yeah.
when I was, big and just playing video games to, have escapism. I would
Mhm,
look up to guys like David Hayter, who's the voice of
mhm,
Solid Snake, the different voice actors who did Fox McCloud and Star
mhm,
Fox. You know, looking up to guys that, or women or anybody that really, definitely made at least video games, because I didn't watch anime until I was in college. Really besides Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon and all that. I didn't watch like my first real anime until I was in college,
okay.
and that was Death Note. Um,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I like that though.
Yeah, I love Death Note. But, looking up to the guys like that, like David Hayter, Debbie Mae West, Lori Allen,
Mhm,
uh, what's another one? Uh, there's so many others. But just yeah, they really, helped me out when I was a kid, and now, I never really thought that I would be in the field that these people were in. I never dreamed about doing that. And the more we did voice acting together, my friend and I was like, "Okay, I'm here to support him, but I'm actually kind of liking this." We buy our equipment, we start auditioning, we do it more, we meet more friends, we do it more,
mhm.
repetition, 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 and then it's like, "Man, okay, I'm deep in this now." I'm in classes now,
Oh, wow.
I'm learning now, like, I'm accepting the fact that, yeah, maybe I should do other areas of voiceover to make this maybe full time, like, I'm, like, passively making this a passion of mine now, like, I'm passively, like, I don't know what's happening right in front of me that this probably is something I'm destined to do. It just feels natural. I'm not good at it
Mhm,
at
mhm.
times, but it feels natural.
Right, right.
Um, so, you know, uh, going forward, like, you know, just kept doing it and, learning more. And ever since I really 2022,
Mhm.
really, I've gotten more serious about it. And
Wow.
Um, I've been full time now for about 2 years, going on 3. It is difficult.
Mm.
You're
Mhm,
basically your own business owner. You
mhm.
make your own schedule. You have to push yourself. You have
Right.
to be accepting of other work that you might not want to do to stay, consistent and to stay on top of your bills. You have to be responsible.
Mhm.
And also that there's other sacrifices. Like right now, like while and I'll be totally real, there's nothing to hide. Like while I would want a partner, like, do I really want to put them through that right now while I'm building,
Mhm,
while
mhm,
money is like
mhm.
really, um, just all over the place? Because as a freelancer, that's just how it is.
Right.
Yeah. And it's it's a lot of things. It's
Mm,
definitely a lot of things, like, do I wanna stay remote? Do I want to go to a voiceover hub like Texas or
mm,
Los Angeles or New York? While
right.
passionately I want to stay I do kinda wanna stay remote because I wanna show people that, be a
Mhm,
hope to them that it can be done, you can grow, you can
mhm, mhm.
build good income,
Right.
yeah, it's and there's other people like that do classes or that work up to that, that make good
Mhm.
income, that, that and are still working, still wanting to learn,
Right.
that sort of thing. Like, I know there's Jesse Carroll who does the voiceover school. He can be found on Instagram.
Mhm.
There's Jamil Berger, who does closing credits.
Mm.
There's a bunch of people that I've worked with that, make it their mission to help others who have found a way to be successful and, to, pave, what's that term? Pay it forward.
Right.
So, it's that's a position I want to be in and to, still succeed and,
Mm,
really give hope to the people that are just coming into this saying like, "Hey, it can be done, and it doesn't
right.
matter where you are," that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And if I'm being totally honest, now being 6 years in it, again, being 2 years, being full-time and
Mm,
really grinding to just grow and to just become more busy,
mm,
right now, and I'm gonna try not to get emotional, is, you know, because my mom was a very big part of my life, very big part,
mm,
and if I speak on that story as a whole, we're gonna be here for a long time, and I don't wanna do that. So, um, with her passing, it really has put things in perspective, and it has, it's made me more focused, made me more driven.
mm,
I'll have my downtimes, of course, that's just the natural part of mourning. But for me, it I don't know, it's like it's given me, like, that purpose, like,
mm.
to go forward and to, like, make her proud, and to, have stories to tell when I see her again. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, yeah. But that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. So prior to you committing full time, what were you doing? Just curious.
Yeah.
Like 9 to 5, IT. I don't know. Just
Yeah, I mean, I gotta come clean. I've never done a restaurant before, the restaurant business. I've never done that, so I'll probably lose a lot of respect for that. But I had, at some point I was a janitor. At
okay.
some point I was doing an internship as a personal trainer while I was a janitor.
Hmm.
Um, that was years ago. I was working at health promotion at my college, which was pretty fun. Learned a lot there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
was a did student government. Well, not student government. Was it student affairs? Yeah, I was the president of an organization called the Residence House Association,
Mm-hmm.
Resident Hall Association. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the RHA, and that taught me how to manage, how to delegate, how to lead meetings, all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
talk, in a
Yeah.
professional manner. How I'm doing it right now, actually.
Right.
That's what actually, how I'm able to do how to do podcasts and how to speak, fluently. Although I've been all over the place in this podcast. Sorry. Um,
It's all good.
so yeah, I've done a handful of jobs, and they've taught me numerous things. The
Mhm.
last job I had was a desk job, just working at one of the dorm areas at my college, which I did that on purpose because I could get time off easily,
There you go.
and I could, still do voiceover work in the mornings while editing, and then edit my work also at the desk job. So,
Mm.
it was like putting the two of them together, which sounds great, but you're honestly working all day long, you
Oh,
know? So, and then you have to find a time to work out, to stay active, all that kind of stuff. So it got very, I got head pains, I got chest pains after a while because I didn't give myself enough time to rest, which to me,
oh.
I don't know how to rest. I don't know how to rest at
Mm.
times. That's what my friends always say. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Sounds like a familiar territory of mine as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah, we on the grind, girl.
right,
On the grind. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle, not a trend.
right, right. Wow, that's very impressive. Little snippet. I used to help my mom when she did janitorial work at the
Mhm.
school.
Nice.
When I
Nice.
was a little girl, I would dump the sharpeners and push the trash bin around, and
Nice.
it's really interesting because, like in the army, when I was in the army,
Yeah.
I learned how to buff the floor.
Yo, wait, nice.
I can totally see you, right? In the 80s, how they have like the Walkman, and you're like,
Oh, I had headphones on all the time. This was only back, like, in 2017,
uh,
honestly, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, just my I was with my friend, and his sister, and they were working. The only reason why I had to be let go of that job was because of budget cuts, and I came
Yeah,
in late, like, late in the year, so it didn't really
yeah.
last that long, but, yeah, I had my headphones in,
Look,
and, I was bopping while I was mopping, you
look.
know?
Don't sleep on that business because it's a lucrative, the cleaning business. It's very lucrative,
Very lucrative. I mean, jobs. I mean,
right?
if we're gonna talk about that, like I know the job field, or at least in Florida right now,
Mm,
from other people is pretty bad. So, getting
mm,
any type of job right now is, that can pay 20 an hour would be
yeah,
fantastic.
right.
But yeah, I don't ever look down on those jobs. Those jobs can pay.
Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. So,
No,
what do you find most rewarding about being a voice actor?
expressing myself.
Express
Expressing
yourself.
myself. Yeah, I used to be a very quiet, reserved guy at times, especially in high school. I just
Mm,
just didn't really know how to express emotions, express what I
mm.
express what I was feeling. See, I still need speech therapy. Um, but no, express how I feel.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, really, go like be myself, but times 10, like,
mhm.
have fun with that. And
Right.
just really like live in the moment. One of the last things that my dad said to me before he passed was, you got to stop and smell the roses because you never know when they're going to be gone. And, I try to think about that when I'm voice acting, to stay in the moment, to be present, to, really go off instinct rather than just thinking like, "Oh, I'm supposed to do this at this certain amount of time in the script," which, I mean, that's getting a direction, that's fine, but, like, to be authentic and to do it naturally, you gotta live in the moment and, gotta stop and smell the roses a little bit.
Mhm,
So, I try to enjoy, as much as I can because I know it can, when you start to become full-time, it can become, like, really a job.
mm,
But and you have to find balance, which I'm gonna be honest, being a young voice actor still, it can be hard to find that balance.
mhm,
But just trying to make it fun every day. Because I try to voice act every day. Try to narrate, try to do character work, anything, marketing too. Like it's just almost an all day thing can be at that. It can be all day thing at times. Darn it, I don't know how to talk sometimes,
It's
but
like it's all good. Like I was reading your, I know I went a little bit in depth because I'm just a research buff. Uh, I saw that you play characters ages like 14 to 25, I guess, and then
Mhm.
25 to 50. Uh, that
Sometimes, yeah.
that that's very interesting. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
a broad range.
Yeah, it is, and I've, it's just it depends on the director's taste too, like, my
Mm,
14 to let's say 14 to 20-year-old voice can be, it could suck, I don't know,
mm,
and then, like, to another person, it's just like, "I want that guy. That guy
mhm.
is best thing since sliced bread. Get him
Right.
in here." It's weird. It's weird how this field is sometimes because you can feel like a complete nobody, and then all of a sudden you can find the person who thinks that you are the ultimate somebody.
Mhm.
So it's our field is very, very it can be very lucrative, can be very rewarding, but you just have to last to find those rewards. You know what I'm saying? So no.
Mm. Well, don't let anybody tell you wrong because you are the man, Josh.
I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you,
Okay?
Annette. You're the
Tell them,
girl. You're the
tell,
woman. That's it.
tell them I said it. Okay.
Annette says I'm the man, so shut up.
Right.
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh my goodness.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, how do you can you describe to us your process in preparing for your voice acting role?
Of course, definitely. So from the things I've learned from my instructors, from people like Brooke Chalmers,
Mhm.
Elaine Craig, Cassandra Lee Morris, Sonny Strait, all these great individuals. MLA Entertainment, Keiko, my coach. I can't leave her out. She's my
Mhm.
coach.
Right.
Sorry, Keiko. I love you. But no, my process nowadays, especially this year, I'm gonna be honest, this year, because I'm still learning. You gotta study the characters, study the script, see what their story is, see what they're all about, see what type of, like the physicalities too. If there's no picture, try to your best to analyze and try to see in your mind, you know, what does this person look like? What is their build? Why are they talking this way? Why are they
Mm,
doing this? What is their actions? What is their motives? What is this line telling me? What are they doing in this part of the line? How can I interpret that in this part of the line? That sort of
mm.
thing. And it can get very scientific. You can feel like Tony Stark in a freaking lab trying to just like put everything together. You're putting together an Iron
Right.
Man suit with this recording, right? And you're just like, man, I got to make this arc reactor. I'm not gonna get out of this cave. It's like Iron Man 1.
Right.
But
I remember it.
yeah,
I watched it multiple times. Matter of fact, we
I
just
love
watched
that
it
movie.
recently.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Mhm.
I love Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like that. You can get scientific. You can become the mechanic basically, just
Mhm.
fixing up something to make it work. And
Mhm.
sometimes it does, most times it doesn't, because you're gonna get rejected a lot in this field.
Mm.
So you just have to do the best you can. But with me, that's the process. I know it's all over the place. Be honest, it's not always in that order of just like read, analyze, visualize, act. It's not always like that.
Oh,
It's all
wow.
over the place. And it depends on how you feel too. It can be, because if you have this script and it just, you just know it like right off the top of your head, like this is how the
Right.
character is, this is what the director says how they are. I can do that very well. Boom, 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 yada yada yada. Recording A plus S,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. But to go through the process of just analyzing, what's the environment like too. You got to think about the world
Mm.
around them, where
Yeah.
they are in the room too. How are they talking to the person that they're in, that they're with in the scene.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when I was younger, or a younger voice actor, I was always just yelling. And
Mm.
I feel like people yell to mask, like, their acting ability,
Mm.
which everybody does at times, which is normal. But like sometimes, you don't have to yell. Sometimes just talking in a very monotone voice when you're angry can show that you're angry. you know?
Mhm. That was
It's
very
like
persuasive.
it's just like, "I want my dang fries. Please give them to me. Please.
Mm.
I've been waiting for 20 minutes. Give me my fries." It's just it can be as easy as that. But, yeah, just, a bunch of analyzing, visualizing, um, because as a voice actor, we're in the booth. It's not like stage. Stage is amazing, but we're not on a
Really?
stage. Yeah, we're not on a stage. I mean, the stage is in our minds. We have to visualize the world around us, put ourselves in that world, and be that character. And we don't have anybody to act off of either. Most of the time, and especially auditions, you're not with anybody. So you have to go off
Mm.
of your raw acting ability and visualize the person talking to you. And also, something that I have to get better at,
Mhm.
take time with it. Don't
Mm.
rush through it, you
Mhm.
know? Stop and smell the roses, you know?
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
take your time, really soak in that line. You really show the emotion. Um,
Mhm.
and the best reads always come when you're taking your time, knowing what your action is, knowing how you wanna emote in a certain part of the line to
Mhm.
change it up, to be dynamic. And again, the best, product always comes out when you do that.
Mhm.
Um, and that's my whole process.
Wow. Yeah, no, no, that's great. Like, I would think that voice acting, because you're literally going into your character,
Mhm.
I would think that voice acting, because you have the script,
Yep.
so you're able to read the script as opposed to the teleprompter or whatever, or maybe mentally, like some people are like photogenic, so they mentally know their lines, right?
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then but then the bloopers sometimes is better than the script, from my
Oh, yeah.
understanding.
They can be, yes. Yes,
So
absolutely.
it just really surprising. It's surprising to me, because I would think, because you have it laid out, it's kind of like an open book test or something, that you have it right there in front of you and you can just go. But no, it's a lot of different ingredients that go into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
From
It's
my
not just
understanding.
with voice acting, yes, that is a plus. It is a plus to have the script right in front of us, but there's always a but.
A big butt, yeah.
Big but. You can't just read it. You also have to
Right.
know the medium that you're in. Is it
Mm,
narration? Is it
mm.
e-learning? Is it kids? Is it
Wow.
adult animation? Is it anime? Anime has its own style of voice acting because you have to match the lip
Mm.
flaps and be more emotive.
Oh yeah.
And that could be an animation, but animation kind of goes hand in hand almost like how you talk in a
Mhm,
movie,
mhm, mhm,
like how we're talking. It's like, if you've seen the show Invincible, they talk very grounded.
mhm,
So it's just you gotta see, like, what medium of voiceover that you're in and go off of
mhm.
that. Especially, like, kids, like, you're not gonna yell like you're in 300 Sparta being Leonidas in a, Nick Jr. show. Um, speaking of blues from Blues Clues, like, you're not gonna do that. It's I'm not here to scare kids, I wanna make kids, smile and laugh, not make it feel like they're going to war, you know? So it's, while we have the script in front of us, it can be very dynamic. Um,
Mhm.
so we just gotta prepare ourselves. Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure that you kind of spoke a little bit about the challenges that you've encountered during your voice acting career. How do you overcome these challenges?
Well, for me personally, having dealt with, low self-esteem, all that kind of stuff, that everybody goes through. It's having a good support system, having a good support system to really help you out of those dark times that you get into. This field can be brutal. It can be very brutal. It can be, excuse me, it can be like, I mean, in the creative field as a whole, like as a
Mhm,
singer, as a
mhm.
dancer, as
Wow.
somebody who makes art, it can be very, very disheartening when somebody hates
Mhm.
your art or rejects it. And you put time into that, and you put, heart in it. Person who's writing music, put their freaking, life experiences in the lyrics, and to have some Joe Schmo over here who's probably, doing nothing with their lives, basically say your work sucks. Go back to your mother's basement. As stuff like that. And it really, I
Wow.
mean, it can get to a creative. It can get to a person who's trying to do this full time, who's trying to make their dreams come true. And, it's just, it really, being a creative really does test your strength of perseverance.
Mm.
Because a lot of people won't understand. It's not their job to understand.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard. And for me, it's having that good support system. I have my group of friends that I have, and I have a lot of good voice acting friends, the
Mhm.
fam, like the VA fam, it's good. Um, but the people who I mentioned before, when I had my previous stream of helping my mother
Mm.
and losing all that weight and all that, you know, um, specifically help my mom, I've had those people in my life for 15 years now.
Wow.
Some of them 10, some of them 15.
Mhm.
And, I every time, it's like if I see myself kind of just spiraling, having their
Mhm.
point of view, it's just like, hey, Josh, it ain't that deep. It's you're still here. It's like, yeah, you didn't get that audition that you thought that was going to be the dream role that put you in a bunch of conventions, what every voice actor probably wants. Not every voice actor, but yeah, like most voice actors, but just keep working. It'll come. You just have
Yep.
to persevere and don't dwindle. Like improve, learn,
Mhm. Mm.
learn. Like just don't just work, learn.
Yeah.
Learn, like learn different tactics, learn different things to put in your toolkit.
Mhm.
Be multifaceted. There's more ways to skin a cat, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Not saying I would do
Mhm.
that to a cat because I love cats. So
Maybe
that's
maybe hurting cats, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I don't like hurting animals. No, no,
Hurt
don't do that.
hurt shepherding, I don't know.
Yeah, no, no. Yeah, but there's more way to do things, and
Yeah.
having their point of view. People who aren't in this field,
Great.
for me, it's good.
Mhm.
It grounds me, and tells me, yeah, life is not that bad. More
Yeah.
opportunities will come. More people that I know who will care about me and will believe in me will come. It's just a
Mhm.
must, or it's set in stone. While I will make it happen, those people will come. I just have to keep
Mhm.
working and persevering. So, really having that good support system really does help, with
Right.
the dark times, with the challenges, because they can get dark sometimes, man, and you need that. You
Mm.
need that support. You need a village.
That's so true. And a lot of times, your village is people that aren't in your immediate family or your relatives.
Mhm.
It's you create families outside
Yep.
your immediates
Yep.
usually.
Absolutely.
And that's how it works. It's really interesting, the whole
Mhm.
dynamic.
Oh, yeah. It is. I mean, man, I don't we're gonna be here a long time if I speak about, the stories that I'm thinking of talking about, but, like, just for time's sake, yeah, I mean, I wasn't ever expecting to find those type of friends,
Mm.
on my journey that I was on when I was younger, my crusade. Um, you know, I don't know what you call it, but, like, it's, um the issues I was dealing with when I was younger, it was great to find those people. And if it wasn't for my mom teaching me to find good people, I wouldn't be with them. So that's something I have to recognize all the time. It's like
Mm.
without her teachings while we were in that environment.
Mhm.
It's basically like you will find those people. You will find
Right.
your family. It just takes time.
Mhm.
And you have to be to be a good judge of people, like, or who
Mhm.
you want to be around, it's because
That's so true.
yeah, it's
That's
like
so
I've learned,
true.
oh god, my hair. Because I've learned that, you know, the life you have is sometimes, sometimes, uh, I guess given's not the right word. The life you have is sometimes determined by the people you surround yourself with, the group that you're with. Um,
Mhm.
and luckily for me, all my friends have aspirations. They want more for themselves. They want to be be something that they're proud of. And uh, you know, they're good. They don't go out, get drunk, every single night or anything like that. It's special. So, no.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. It's that whole cliche, I guess, birds of a feather flock together. So
Mhm.
if or one apple can spoil the bunch type of mentality. So you have
Yeah,
to be
very
aware.
careful.
Yeah, definitely.
Very careful.
So, speaking about voice acting projects and such, what is one memorable or uh, project that has been impactful for you?
For me, there's 2. There's
Mm,
2, and there's a lot more, but
okay,
there's 2 that come to mind.
okay.
The first one is a fan project, actually, and that's taboo to talk about fan projects in the voiceover field because you don't want to offend the people who, the actual, like, series, like, you know, made, and, you don't want to offend the, OG voice actors of, like, the characters, all that stuff. I get it. But, when my friend and I were just getting in, there was this one fan project that made me believe that I could do this. It was called Danganronpa F Shattered Hope, and it was a fan project to the series that my friend and I were doing that got me into voice acting, that got us into voice acting. And it was a big fan project. It's still getting made to this day. Um, my friend Cross and his partner Morai Teru, they work really hard on that and with their team that they have, and they're really passionate about that project, and I am too, along with the other voice actors who are on it, who have all gone to do like other big things, other animes, other big projects, but they still love that one. And I'm the same way. It's really helped me with my confidence. It helped me accept more of who I am. And it was really cool being the character I'm in that project is named Pocket. And I just yeah, I really am grateful that we were able to do that. Fast forward 5 to 6 years later, 5 years later, 6 years, whatever, probably 6 years later, from 2018 to now, the other project that's really impactful to me is the anime that my friends and I were able to be a part of, and that's My Dear Friend Nokotan. And being Sonoda the deer, the actual deer in the anime, um, that's funny. And then also being Yoshiharu Tsubameya in that anime. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's really awesome. And to be in it with a bunch of my friends, it's really cool. Um, and to do it remotely. To do it remotely with with a full remote cast, it's very special. I know a lot of people will probably have feelings about that. It is what it is. Accept it. This one belongs to us, that sort of thing. um it was very special, and
Wow.
yeah, it's really cool. Those are the 2 that really, from the beginning to now. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And when you meet that group, I feel like, and it's, I won't say the end because I'm sure that there's future projects, but it's
Yeah.
kind of sad when you might not, if the
Yeah.
series end or
Yeah.
whatever. Whatever.
Definitely. I hope that Nokotan gets a season 2. It's very popular. It's
Right.
a very popular anime, more popular than I thought it was. I mean, the the gifs, the memes
Mm.
are what
Right.
made it popular. I mean, the
Right.
whole dancing thing, "Shika noko 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 kosh tan tan, shika noko 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 kosh tan tan." I'm like, it was a few months ago. It was like all over
Wow.
YouTube. It was all over freaking Instagram. At
Mm.
least that's what my algorithm showed me, of course.
Right. Right.
Um, but like it was like everywhere. I was like, dang, I didn't know it was gonna be this popular. Jeez. Now people are gonna have really negative opinions because it's a remote cast. Because it's too dang popular. I don't feel like getting bad DMs in my DMs. Please
Like,
leave me alone.
so, like, okay, the remote can you, like, elaborate a little bit about, like, remote versus the in
Yeah,
person, or
sure. There's
because this
no
is interesting.
yeah, and I think people like I don't know what people do. I don't know what people say. I don't know what people like make of this. There's no well, I mean, there's politics and everything,
Uh,
unfortunately. But
right.
remote in studio, there's nothing negative about it. It's just what is. Like in studio, it's very easy. You have the two screens right there. You
Oh,
have the script, you have the screen or the footage. You can watch the J
oh,
or the seiyus do their thing or the animation, not the seiyus, sorry. The Japanese animation
uh-huh.
and then the voice actors, specifically in studio, they are directed by a director. An
Mm,
engineer is helping with the audio placement and all that. All
mm,
there, all there in the studio. And the actor can just, they can just act, not worry about, uh, fixing their audio, you
mm,
know,
mhm, mhm,
manually, because that's what you have to do remotely is fix your audio manually. And I'm not a tech expert,
mm,
but the difference is it is very, very easier in studio.
mhm.
And but in remote, it can be very tedious. You have to know, excuse me, how to, speak into the mic more, I guess in the space that you have, be comfortable in that. You have to know how to work your interface. You have to make sure that your equipment is good enough. And just be more self-aware of the environment around you because most, if you unless if you have a whisper room, a studio bricks, or something else that's higher end, it can be very difficult with the echo and just,
Mm.
with the sound treatment around you. You just have to be careful of that. And again, know how to operate your interface. There are other stuff that you have to, know too as a remote artist. But to me, that was the things that I had to be wary of. And yeah, that's basically the difference. It's not a lot, but being someone who has not done work yet in like Texas, or Los Angeles or New York, um, or Miami in person, it's I'm not going to speak on something I don't really know.
Right.
So yeah.
I would think that you probably would have an upper hand because of the manual capabilities that you had to adapt to in fixing the mic, the audio, the visual, all that good stuff, and then being in a um, in an actual studio with the everything there, and you have the help desk. It's probably a little bit. It's more fluid and probably takes lesser time,
Yeah.
but you're probably like Johnny on the spot. You probably already know, you
It takes
basically it'll
practice.
be easy. Yeah, basically it'll probably be easier for you as opposed to someone that's been doing the in studio and then having to do remote because now you're having to adjust everything that
Oh
you've said.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, and we're, just wanting to put this out there. It's like we're not hating on somebody who has to go through that. No, it's difficult to
right.
somebody who is used to in studio.
Hmm,
It's
hmm.
like a culture shock, and um, I wouldn't ever blame somebody to feel that way. It's hard.
Right,
It can be
right.
very difficult and tedious, and um, sometimes you're just forced to. You're just forced
Mhm,
to learn
mhm,
that way.
mhm.
That's how my friend and I we were not forced, but, like, we were in Jacksonville. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
close to a hub. So,
Right.
it's something that you have to do, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people, a lot of voice actors, out there, not even in the United States, in Canada, in
Wow.
England, in, India, in Japan, if they're
Mhm,
not a Seiyu, if they're American or another nationality and they wanna get into the US market,
mm.
they're remote too. And it can be difficult to get noticed, to get
Right.
notoriety.
Right, right.
It's such a vast field, and from my experience as a remote artist, you have to not be afraid to reach out to people. You have to do it in a very professional way. Um, Try not to, excuse my language, but piss people off while doing that.
Right, right.
Because, I mean, you are your own business person, part-time or full-time. Being a remote artist, you're basically saying yes to owning your own business. So,
Yeah.
um, you have to take responsibility in that. Not be afraid. Have material ready, good material ready, to show them. Um, Not be afraid to market. Um, I I I don't I would never teach somebody how to how to constantly market. They have to do what's right for them.
Right.
For me, I market very, I try to market every day.
Mhm.
And you really don't have to do that. You can if you want to, but it just depends on, like, what type of material and what type of person you are. But whatever that is, do it to the best of your ability.
Mhm.
And for me personally, I like to market every day. So, the risk is, of course, getting on people's nerves, which I
Mhm.
always
Mhm.
fear.
Mm.
But I'm gonna be honest, I would not be talking to you right now, and I wouldn't have the opportunities or, the gigs I have without doing that.
Right.
And that's just me though. Like, I don't know how it would be for somebody else. But for me, doing that, being truthful, trying to be honest, has led me to this point. And I'm not saying I'm like some Matthew Mercer or Troy Baker or Nolan North, Debbie Mae West, Lori Allen. Like, I'm I'm not any of those, not yet. That's my goal, but, like, I'm not anybody like that. I'm just, I'm still growing. I'm still young. So, yeah. Um, yeah.
Yeah. You are Josh Portillo.
Yes,
So
I am.
and
Yes, I am.
let it be known, okay, for all you contenders out there. No,
Oh goodness. A
today
declaration of war.
you
No.
you heard him here at NNO 360 because look, Josh, I'm telling you, I understand that you have your superheroes in mind, but you are your superhero.
I appreciate that. Thank
Josh
you.
Portillo is the superhero. Okay,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
and he and in the 360 tonight. So
Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
right.
Save your own world.
There you go. There you go. Because you bring a uniqueness to everybody has their uniqueness. It's just about finding that uniqueness about yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, not everybody is going to be the same. We all have our own branding style. I may
Yeah.
like color purple, and you may like color blue.
Mhm.
Everybody has their
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm preaching to myself too. at the same time because
Annette, this is what you need to remember. This is what you need to remember. You are unique. You are amazing. And you will make it your own way.
right?
Yes.
I'm claiming that tonight.
Yes. Yes. Claim it. Claim it. Praise.
Right? Wow, your approach to character development, right? And when you bring the characters to life, your voice, how do you bring them to life rather?
That's a good question. So with the analyzing, with the knowing where they are, what their motives are, maybe what they've been through, you know, different
Mhm,
it can be a lot of things. You just try different approaches, especially in auditioning.
mhm,
Sometimes in one audition, you know, if the audition calls for it, you can try one type of voice,
mhm,
and then for a second take, do a totally different approach. You can be raspy and airy with one
mhm.
take, but then be boisterous and confident and funny in a second take. It
Wow,
just
that was good.
yeah, it can be very different. But you have to be the judge to do that. Like you have to really know like is that really appropriate or should I just stay with one voice and just do the second take a different way? Like a
Mm,
different way with this same voice, with different
yeah.
inflections and different intentions, that sort of thing. So it it really is like it's all over the place, but you just have to be the judge and see what's best for that read, for that audition.
Interesting. Like a character that comes to mind. I'm a big fan of Deadpool. So like
Okay, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds,
Yep.
he has like this witty uh
Oh yeah.
he
Oh yeah.
he just has this knack for digging, I don't know, like making things work, right?
He's funny with it,
It's
man.
just
He
yeah.
has a gift. It's just his personality, man. Like, the first movie I really liked seeing him in was a movie called Just Friends with him and Amy Smart. It's just it's just I love that movie, man. It just I it's just him, like, literally just witty, the type of comedy, the type of humor that he's able to portray. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just Ryan Reynolds. You could just, like, yeah, it's just like, his subtleness with it too, like, he could be just
Uh-huh.
like, a funny song in the background, he'd be looking down, like, and this is a scene from Just Friends, he's just looking down on his bed, he's getting ready for a date with Amy Smart, the woman that he likes in the movie, and he's just, like, looking at this stuff spread out on his bed, he's like, "Jesus, this is like the Michael Bolton starter kit." It's just like, the way he said it says those type of things, it's like, it's too funny. Or just like in Deadpool where he's just like, fourth wall break within a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls. It's like
You did that very well, Josh.
like I cracked up in the theater when I first saw that.
Oh my god.
And Deadpool and Wolverine, we could stay here all day
Oh my
talking about
god.
that.
Look,
Oh,
I want to
I
go
love
back again and watch it.
I need that. I need to buy it on digital. I just watch them whenever I want because that movie was great. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, though that type of like humor, that's just him. He's just being him. Like he was
Right.
he probably gets hated on because of that. Honestly, I know he gets hated on. I don't know Ryan Reynolds. I probably will never know him, but like I know he probably gets hated on for doing the same type of dang character over and over again because he's basically the dude off of The Proposal being Deadpool.
Right.
Yeah. Or just the same dude from Just Friends as a superhero.
Right.
That type of humor. But it works. It's him.
I know that's so it's
That's his brand.
yeah, like it's magical, right? So it's
Yeah.
magical because like Josh has his own unique
Niche.
style,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And tapping into that, And have you learned like through this voice acting
Yeah,
career, tapping into it and seeing not necessarily what people want to see, but
yeah.
being comfortable in your own skin and being
Oh, yeah.
comfortable just being
Yeah.
fancy free, you
Yeah,
know?
that's such a good question. So my coach, Keiko, at MLA Entertainment, she's really doubled down on that. What is your brand? Who are you? You know, like what do you bring to the table? And understand as you learn about your brand over time, not everybody's going to like it, and you have to accept that because that can, if you worry about that all the time, worrying about what you want people to hear and wanting them to like you, it's not going to work, you know? And this is honestly a lesson that people learn, you
Mhm.
know, in grade school,
Yeah.
honestly, or they get it told to them. Be yourself. Don't try to get other people to like you because you might like attract the wrong crowd.
Mhm.
That sort of thing. You might show, yourself in a light that is not you.
Right.
It's like, this isn't your acting style.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, and for me, you know, uh, I remember us dialing it down. I can be very heartfelt, very caring. It's like how I am, how I feel when I'm with my mother, how I was with my mother. And then you can be very Deadpoolish, Ryan Reynolds, when you're with your friends. Like it's two spectrums.
Mm.
And for me, like that was what we found. That's my brand. I'm
Right.
caring, but I can be funny. I can be, I can act like, the hero type, but I can also be a jerk. So, it's like it's two spectrums.
A funny jerk.
Yeah, a funny jerk, a heroic jerk.
Right.
Like, is yeah, it's maximum effort,
That's my favorite. Oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh.
maximum effort. It's just finding your brand and knowing that a lot of people are not some people are not going to accept it, and that's totally fine. The people who are right will, and those are the people you want in your corner, especially in voice acting. So for me, learning about my brand more and learning what I'm about has
Mhm.
really helped with my
Mhm.
reads. And while I'm still personally still trying to get back on my feet after these past few weeks,
Yeah.
it's really good to have that as my part of my foundation now.
Right.
Even when you're going through the toughest of times, as professional as it sounds, like, what is your brand? What is it? Like, remember it. That's what you can go off of, even when you're going through stuff, and auditions need to be done, or an audiobook needs to be done. You can go back on that. So, yeah.
Mm. That's so true. It's like looking at an archive of photos and videos of yourself and just your past memories, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot that I baked this. I don't tart that I
Yeah,
haven't baked in so
exactly.
long."
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Fun times, yeah. So, name three voice actors that you would like to collaborate with.
One's David Hayter. I know that's probably never gonna happen.
Never
He's up
know.
there, man. He's up there. I mean, he's with. I mean, he's getting ready for Metal Gear Solid Delta that's coming out, and I mean, it's funny too. Like, I mean, that game is huge. That series is huge. He's a
Uh,
video game icon. Um,
Jeez.
and yeah, it's crazy. Another one for me. Who's another voice actor? I guess the first voice actor I met ever back in 2016 at a con in Jacksonville, Florida. One Johnny Young Bosch. I would love to do a project with him, like every other voice actor, probably. To do the voice, to be in a project with the voice of Ichigo Kurosaki, with
Mhm.
one of the OG Power Rangers. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it would be great to be in a project with him. That would be another one. And one more. Oh goodness. I want to put a voice actress in there.
Okay.
Um, what's one? There's so many great voice actresses. Um,
Mm.
man, I do want to do a project with Lori Allen or Jennifer Hale. Jennifer Hale and Lori
Mm.
Allen are legendary. Lori Allen's like performance as the boss in Metal
Mm.
Gear Solid 3 was fantastic. She's Pearl on SpongeBob.
Wow.
Yeah, that range, right? And
Yeah.
Jennifer Hale is, just like Lori, is a legend. Um, she was just in the recent Ratchet and Clank game,
Mm.
Rift Apart. I forgot. She was Naomi Hunter in Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear series.
Wow.
Um, just a bunch of stuff, and just to be like in their vicinity, to be in their realm, to
Uh-huh.
talk with them like on a project, it's just like, hey, great take. Or like, being like in an interview with them and being like, looking over at each other, being like, we did a great job, that sort of
Huh?
thing. Man, I'd be like, wow, I would never thought that I would be in this crowd, be with these people I looked up to that I thought I would never, absolutely never meet, or for goodness sakes work with,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, personally, in that I still feel like a freaking, that fat kid from Jacksonville. That's what I feel inside.
Mm.
So, they would be cool to work with some of those, and there's others, that I didn't say,
Right.
but those three would be great.
Well, Josh, I think that they had to start just like you, just like me, just like, well, I mean, I'm not a voice actor. I can act.
You can act. It's all good. You're a good interviewer. That's a good thing, right?
I can act a
Yes.
fool. I love laughing and joking, but we all had to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think that's the beauty of things and life, and how
Yeah.
I think the universe is conspiring for us. I truly believe that there's
Yeah.
reasons, seasons for everything. I wouldn't have met you if I didn't join Black Lion and Cubs, right? So
Exactly.
like I
Yeah.
honestly speaking, like doing this podcast was merely uh therapy for me. When I was in the military, I was going
Thank you
through
for your service, by the way.
thank you.
Mhm.
I was going through these COVID deployments, and I needed an outlet. So, and I love talking. I love learning about
Oh,
people.
yeah.
And so it just started with topic discussions, and then it led to interviews, and then it led to entrepreneurs and music artists and
Yeah.
artists and every I'm
It'll
like,
keep
wait,
going.
what happened?
It'll keep going, and, like, by the time you know it, Annette, you will be interviewing people, and I can only speak for voice acting, like, people who have been in this for years, and I'm not, like Jim Cummings, like Billy West, um, uh, Keith David, these people who have, like, laid a foundation for voice actors like me to kinda stand on, and,
Mhm.
have actually a field to grow in.
Mm,
So it's, yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, we all start somewhere. And
right.
yeah,
I mean, I'm telling you, I just have this feeling that is there's a silver lining, and you're going to make waves. I see you making waves already.
I
So
appreciate it. I
I
appreciate the belief.
don't be surprised if it's sooner than what you think.
I will say, I don't know. Like, I'm a believer, but like, it's crazy how things work out. Like, for example, and this is where like you have to just keep your eyes open in this field and be
Mm,
good to people. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I will say right here in this podcast, I have had bad days. Some people in the field, I think, probably think I'm, excuse my language, an asshole. I will put that out there. I've you know, it's like I'm not perfect. It was hard a few like, you know, during this time, during this journey I've had in voice acting. It's been hard at times. It's been rough, especially around the times now, like these past, I would say 3 years,
Mm,
since my mom's been sick. It's been hard. And how plans don't work out. And you only have you to really know that you didn't like you need to get better as a person.
mm,
A lot of retro introspection, um, not blaming others. It's all on you.
mm.
You have to be better. You have to grow as a person.
Yeah.
It's been very hard at some points. So I understand that. But you honestly in this field have to keep your eyes open. And you saying that, the silver lining, rowing waves, it's weird how things work out. Because for example, there's this project called Trio. It's India's first anime film, film or series. I believe he's still trying to figure that out. But
Mm.
it's the first anime. And he lived the creator Sarav, who's an amazing individual, amazing guy. He lived down the road from me,
Wow.
down the road. I won't say where because that's his privacy,
Right.
but basically down the road from me. And I reached out to him. He had, a good following on Instagram, and I was like, "This is India's first anime, first manga, professional manga that's actually
Wow.
like getting made. He has an issue already at the time when I saw him or met him." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll work my magic and try
Mhm.
to reach out to this guy." And he lived close to me, and I'm like, "How?" And from then on, it just snowballed. You know,
Mm,
and I'm hesitant to say this example, but again, I gotta be truthful. There was a lot of tension, a lot of stuff happening with my mom, with her sickness and everything that was going on. She passed peacefully. Saw her comet in the air, all that magic.
mm,
And going off of that, I thought literally, Annette, I thought, if my mom dies, I die as a person. I thought that
mm,
forever. I was like, because this is on me. I put
mhm,
too much of myself. I attached too much of myself with my mother.
mm,
And it's like sometimes it's like, who are you? Who are you? And
mm.
you go back to what is your brand?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
And it's really kind of helped me, as I think I said at the beginning of the podcast, like help me focus more, help me have purpose more in this field. Like I want to be one of the best in this field for her and for myself. That's the rule. It has to be for myself at the end
Right.
of the day, because it can't be just for somebody else. But I do want to do this in her memory,
Mhm.
and make her proud. Make my dad proud too. I'll put
Yeah.
that in there. Like make them both proud. Do something that they wanted to do, but couldn't,
Mhm.
and make something out of myself. And it's funny, unfortunately, after she passed, there's just this like focus, like I gotta go. Like I gotta
Mhm.
slowly get back on my feet. I gotta accept that there will be times when I mourn,
Right.
times when I'm gonna be down and out and need to take a minute, but I gotta go. I have to try. I have to accept that maybe I'll fail, but I will try. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like, after that, like, I remember just a week later, just recently, because this is recent,
Right.
I was able to do, with my friend Rue Ryder, um, be guests at a Sci-Fi Pop Fest. It's just really awesome, family-owned convention, down in Leesburg here in Florida.
Mhm.
Very great, vicinity that they were in, great family, environment, nice, clean. You can be personable with the people there. It was awesome. It was the best way to get back on your feet. And
Mm.
then you meet other people, you make friends with other people who do cons as well. Now you're going to, with some of your castmates, going to another con, down the line. Can't say what it is or when
Right, right.
under NDA. But yeah, like another opportunity. Then you have another con to do in Portland,
Yeah.
TCUCon down the road. So you're just staying busy and like, I have seen like ever since, you know, in the short time that she's passed, it's like, things will happen. You
Mhm.
just have to be accepting of it and, go with it and, do your best to, show out and show what you're made of, that sort of thing. It's just fine with all these opportunities coming and doing podcasts and doing all that kind of stuff so recently after what had happened. It's like, she's here. She's
Yeah, yeah.
passing stuff along, you know.
That's what I was gonna say, Josh. It's her. She's looking over you.
Yeah.
Her. She's an angel, and things just work out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like you have the memories, and that's
Yeah.
that's what that's what for me. My dad passed a long time ago, and you the memory still lives on. It's like they're still here physically, not in the 3D, but in the 5D, and
Yeah.
you still feel their presence. In other
Yeah.
words,
Yeah. Yep.
the little nudges, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
I can feel it. I can feel it. It's like a force ghost,
yeah,
in
yeah.
Star Wars.
There you go. No,
It's
yeah.
like I can feel it. And it's there's this calmness that I have now. I have not had in a very long while.
Mm,
And of course you can say like that's just from her not being in pain anymore,
mm,
me not having to worry anymore. Same can go with with the rest of my family who cared for her, who were
right.
really her caretaker.
Yeah.
I was not up there whenever she was going through all that at times, or I
Mm,
wasn't there all the time. I'm not going to be that guy that says like I was with my mom the whole way. Like,
mm,
no, I was doing what she told me to do, and that was to hang out with my friends, focus on my career, focus on my stuff, and be happy, live on, move on. And you know when you see me, just be normal.
yeah.
Don't make it out to be anything else, because do you think that she wanted to be sad? No.
Right.
So my personal belief, I'm gonna I know I'll see her again. I know I'll see my dad again, and hopefully again I'll have a lot of stories to tell, and they'll be like, dang, you lived longer than us. It's dark comedy a little bit there. It's like you lasted longer than us. Good job, son. um let's go get some food, and let me tell me all about it.
Right.
How was your time as a voice actor? That sort of thing. And what, just, I want to hear about it. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
so awesome. Like it's almost your mom sounds like a phenomenal woman, and I feel like because my I have 3 kids, and so my oldest is 19, and he's
Yeah.
just starting this his adulting thing, and tonight he made dinner.
Yep.
Like
Steak.
I yeah, I try to
Yeah.
coach him along, but he's like, I have to learn this. Like because
Yep.
being the caretaker, he's starting to say, okay, well, I need to. He's domesticated. He knows how to do everything already.
No.
But it just when you talk about your mom, I just feel it like with my son,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Like the stuff that she's contributed
Yep.
to you. It's
Yep.
it's like like in parallel, if that
Oh
makes
yeah.
sense.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It's what she lived for. She loved kids. She only needed one, but she loved kids. She had a passion for it. And again, I'm just glad before she passed that, she was able to meet my stepdad, because for the longest time I did not see her happy, and that
Mm,
was a nightmare to see, especially in high school. And you don't really know how to explain it. You try to tell people through reports, through papers.
mm,
It's yeah, it's like you're yearning for attention, but really you're yearning for freaking help. And thankfully people listened during
right.
my senior year. And while she was only, my friend told me that, because you get in your head whenever they're in this scenario of, passing.
Mm,
You get doubts. It's like, was all of it worth it? All the work that you put in to help her get out of that toxic environment.
mm,
And she did her part too, of just like, lasting in it while I went to high school. My high school was a college preparatory school, and,
mm,
it was good for my education. So she toughed it out in her own way and
mm.
was a real mom for that. There was nowhere else for us to go to have a better opportunity for me to have a better future.
Wow.
And so, she toughened through that. And you start to wonder, it's just like, was it all worth it though? Because she's here on this deathbed right now.
Mm,
And my friend said, like, she had 10 more Christmases. She had 10 more years with you. She had 10 years with the love of her life. She had holidays.
right,
She
right,
had times with friends. She lived her life happy. She had issues, like we all do, but like it's
right.
like she had that time. And my mom's health was very terrible in high school. She's always been dealing with health issues, unfortunately. And it was on the cusp, honestly, during my high school years.
Mm,
Um, and unfortunately, it's just it kind of hit her, during this time 10 years later. But, you know, in those 52 years that she was alive, she lived a life.
oh.
And I don't mean to make the podcast end on such a
No.
sour note. It's just, you know, that's what I do it for right now. And that's for her, to make her proud and to make stories, tell her when I see her again. And, um, it's like almost not a declaration of war on people, but on just, I guess, honestly, it's weird with myself. It's like, you will become one of the best. I don't care what aspect
Mhm.
it is. Hopefully it's in character work, but you will be one of the best. And there is no one that's going to stop you unless you stop yourself.
Mm,
And
wow.
yeah, and you're going to do it for yourself. You're going to do it for her. You're going to make the people proud around you. And that is the story. That's the new story now. So
Mm,
kind of, you got to rise to the occasion. Yeah.
yeah. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
There's so many things that come with your uniqueness, Josh. And you gotta make me tear like I'm trying not to get teary eyed, but
Oh, no. No,
you'll see you're seeing the things that she's been stating present itself right in front of your eyes. And everybody's telling you this.
yeah. I've heard it
So
by a lot of people recently, these sort of things. And it's very weird is very the most disrespectful word to use. I want to use a more respectful word, but it's not coming to mind. But it is very odd how I've been hearing it more. And it's just this focus, that's just like, I don't know how to say it, but kind of set itself in me. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that's driving. And I have been scared recently. I have been scared, like, what is my future?
mm,
Income has been up and down.
mhm,
That's just the voiceover field. I'm still learning how to be, more of a better commercial voice actor, voiceover artist.
mhm,
And I do want to make more income. And it's
right.
just, it's the technical stuff that makes it kind of, like, he's a little, it's. talking about money and all that kind of crap, it's like it is stuff I worry about. And, I do want to stay in this field full time to,
Yeah.
keep making her proud, keep making myself proud. But yeah, I have been scared about the future. And I'm just hoping that I can do it right, and keep growing and keep being lucrative in it and inspiring and all that jazz.
You will. You will.
Hopefully. Yeah.
No, like you're doing it. So you just have to keep, marching along and keep going
Yep.
because this is not a lot of people just in general, they look at entrepreneurship and are being an artist as a short game. And this
Yeah.
is a long game. It's like having a 401k, right? And you're like
Yeah.
putting
We're the
money,
retirement. Yep.
you just have to let it grow.
Yep. 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 I don't care if it takes 5, 15, 25 years. I will, you
Y-
know, be a
Yeah,
part of that group, part in the history books that
yeah,
say like, you know what, he was an innovator. He,
yeah.
and he did it right, and he was one
Mhm.
of the best. I remember him in this show, I remember him in that video game, and I definitely remember him in that video game. You
Right,
know, like he got me through the hardest time, or like his character is one that I look up to the most. And he's still doing it, like
right.
that's what I want too, is the longevity. To be like Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is still
Right,
acting and he's still alive and he's 98 years old,
right,
you know?
exactly.
It'd
Look,
be cool.
and a lot of we don't see this, but a lot of the youth, a lot of the young folks that are coming up, they're looking at you and they're like, wow, I'm aspiring to be like you, like Josh. Like, think about it, right? So while you're thinking about your superhero, who you want or aspire to be, there's young folks, young people, the youth that are looking to you
Mhm.
to aspire to be like you.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
it does, and it's I've seen it, because I've see that I'm getting to that point, and I've put enough work in. I'm still putting in the work, to actually see that. Wow, yeah, I am in that position.
Yeah.
I need to start acting like it. I'm still getting used to it, to be honest, and there are still areas that I'm very just green in when it comes to being in a position like that. But that comes with, again, being one of the best. You have to be a leader in the field. And to me, a leader is one who never stops learning.
Mm.
So even if you don't have a lot of money at the time, for example, and it's going towards bills, or maybe even a
Yeah.
wife, or a partner, and
Yeah.
even if you have kids,
Oh yeah.
yeah. See, so
Now
it's like,
let's not start with the kids now, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. You put your money towards that, but like you still
yeah.
want to learn and get better. Down payment on the house, that sort of stuff. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a position that I'm beginning to see myself in, going on my 7th year now, and
Mhm.
yeah, you gotta start acting like it. And you're starting to slowly go to conventions. Now you don't have all the roles
Right.
like maybe a bunch of your colleagues do in Texas and Los Angeles, but you're still there.
Right.
And you have to act like it. You have to, if somebody asks you, "Hey, can you really do voice acting remotely? Can I be like one of those voice actors that are in the animes and such?" You have to give them um an honest answer, but also a one that's like, "Yes, you really can.
Yeah.
You know? You really can. In your own way, you can." And you never know with how big remote voice acting can get in the future.
Right.
So again, this is nothing towards in studio. In studio is amazing, but like, e- I'm still getting used to those type of questions. And, I never would have thought that I would be answering those type of questions. So I want to answer in a very professional, honest way, not to lead them on, but to also give them hope and to say
Right.
that it can be done. So, you just have to be good to people, be open be open to different work, and to, again, yeah, just don't be a jerk.
Well,
No.
sometimes we have to be, you know.
Sometimes we have to be that's just a business person. That's just
Right.
being a business owner, and you have to put
Right.
your foot down. So,
Right.
especially when you're not getting paid. So, yeah.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No, I'm
you
being
know.
for real.
I don't drink a lot, but yeah, if I had a thing of sake, yes, cheers, you
Cheers.
know, you know, yeah,
That is the truth. Wow. Wow. Everything that you said to this point, you're such an inspiration. And I hope you see that. I hope that you see that a lot of people are watching you. No pressure, right? But
bring it.
a lo-
At this point, it's like, bring it. I don't care. Like,
the, a
I'll
lo-
do my thing, you know?
a lot of people aspire to be like you. And even our haters, like seriously, we need the numbers, so hate on.
Yeah, those people that say that you can't do it, that you're like, you still talk weird, or like, like, I don't know, you're not in a lot of anime. I hear that maybe behind my back. Or you're in, you don't deserve to be in Nokotan, or like, you're not in a lot of big stuff. I'm just like, I love those people.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Like, come on, bring
It's
it. Come on. I've been hearing it all my life. Like, come on now. Like,
the hilarious part is you create a reel, you put it out there, you see the algorithm, and you're like, I have like 1.5 thousand views on this reel, but I only have like maybe 5 likes and
yeah. Yeah.
3 comments. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. That is
I like the watch time is like 10 seconds or
it's a game, and
20 seconds.
it's a game. It's a game. You gotta play the game sometimes. I hate playing the game, but you gotta play the game. And it's yeah, just especially with marketing, yeah, you have to like do it honest, do it professionally, and maybe not do how some people market. I don't know. I really don't care. I just focus on like what I do.
Right.
But yeah,
That's the
sometimes
same here.
you just have to play the game, whatever that is, and
Right.
well, at the same time.
Well, leaving on this note,
No,
what was the best advice ever given to you?
this is gonna be a deep answer, very deep answer in that. We're gonna end
Right.
on a very strong, hopefully not sad, but good note. The best advice somebody gave me was actually a quote or a saying. It's that coach that helped me lose all that weight. He taught his kids, his teams, the kids that he coached,
Mhm.
this creed. And, the creed goes,
Mhm.
this is the beginning of a new day. God has given us this day to use as we will. We can waste it or use it for good. For what we do today is important, for we have exchanged a day of our lives for it. We want it to be good, not bad, gain, not loss, success, not failure, so that we will never regret the price that we paid for it. What that creed has, I've known that creed since I was 13 years old. I am 29 now. I can still remember it. It has saved me, it has saved my family, it has impacted me, it has changed my life. It has helped lead me to the people that I'm with now. Um, it was the last words I spoke to my mother with. Um, I did
Mhm.
not know what to say to her whenever I was near her on the bedside with my stepdad and our other friend. Again, I'll keep her name out. Um, I didn't know what to say, but I thought that our our creed.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
that's where it all began. Where all this positive stuff began, because her and I, we went through hell together.
Mm.
I remember when she was scared, when my dad would be throwing around crap in our house, or whenever he was trying to get physical. I remember him being physical. Attempted, this gets be really dark, attempted murder twice when I was 4.
Mm.
I still remember it. Again, I'm 29 years old. When I was 4, I still remember that after all these years. And it took until I was 13. And that's, you got to think, 4 to 13, that's a long time for something good to happen, something really positive to happen. And from then on, just good stuff started to happen over time. It all started with that creed. And, you know, for that, and I remember when I was younger, just sitting on my couch, my mom laying in her room, in her bed, you know, I was just on my couch and my dad's at work, hoping that he doesn't come home. And just trying to memorize this creed. I'm like, why do I have to memorize this stupid quote? At that point, I already hated myself. I already hated that I was 300 plus some pounds. No girls liked me. I didn't want to live anymore. That sort of thing. And
Mm.
it just became something. It became something more. It became something that just kind of flowed through your freaking blood veins. You lived it. You lived the creed. You wake up every single day. You try to make it as something good. Something positive has to come out of this day. Something. And me being a very negative person at times, it was very
Mm.
hard.
Mm.
And for it to come full circle, and for those to be the last words that I told my mother, I whispered it in her ear, and I didn't know if it really matched the
Mm.
moment.
Mm.
I was very scared because it can be interpreted in a very different way. Um, I was one of my who told me, I can't I who told me, my therapist told me told me that she was fighting her battles too. She fought
Mm.
her whole life in her own way. Sicknesses, you know, she fought to stay alive, to stay with your stepdad. These last 3 years, she kept a positive attitude. My mom never whined at all.
Wow.
Of course she cried whenever she had unfortunately when she had an accident and
Mm.
she had to I don't even want to say it. She had to do something.
Mhm.
But with her, yeah, with health. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that part. But she had to do a lot and she went through a lot. But she was always still positive.
Mm.
Always positive. There was a switch, these last 3 years. She never
Mm.
really cried. And throughout my whole life, she never had any regrets. Never.
Mm.
Absolutely never. Never told me, "Josh, I regret not doing this. I regret not being with this guy. I regret not being," talking about the past. Never. Absolutely never. And to, keep a positive attitude, to keep working, to just stay alive, to just stay with the love of her life, to see me succeed, to grow,
Mm.
to start this next phase in my life basically
Right.
without her, you know, she lived out her creed like I lived out my creed.
Mm.
She lived out the creed, I lived out the creed, and that's what made it impactful, and that's why it fit. Because it was
Yeah.
you know, this is the beginning of a new day, you know,
Yeah.
the next phase of whatever existence this is. Your next phase in life, I don't know.
Right.
I
Right.
am a believer, but I'm not gonna act like I know everything,
Yeah.
the mysteries of the universe. But, you know, saying that was probably the most impactful thing I've ever been taught, quote wise, or just saying or anything. Um, and it did match in that moment. So, yeah.
Wow. and it says the way I'm listening to it, she knew, you know, she knew, and she was content
Yes.
that she did a phenomenal job with you. You know what
She
I
did
mean?
her
I mean, like
she
this.
she did it.
Look at you.
She did it. Everything that she wanted out of like what to make of her son, didn't have to be like a movie star, didn't have to be anything. Honestly, just wanted to be happy,
Yeah.
but to be thriving, to be in a field
Hmm.
that you love,
Yeah.
you're getting accepted in it, you know. That means a lot. And to do it in the way that in the world that we were in,
Hmm.
and to come out of that and to, have what we have what she
Hmm.
had,
Hmm.
yeah, it means a lot. And, some people may think otherwise, but they can go to hell.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't gone through loss enough then if they think that. You know.
Hmm.
And then don't say that to my stepdad. That man's been through 10 tours. So you know how much a tour can put on a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In the special forces. So, you know, um,
Thank you
a
for
lot.
his service. Yeah. Salute to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's fine right now.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
fine. Yeah, I hope he's doing well with our other friend who's,
Yeah.
hurt right now. But yeah, I mean, all this stuff, it's like who would be listening to this probably is going to be like, how does this relate to voice acting? It has everything to do with voice acting.
Yeah.
Life, literally, if you don't live life, if you don't go through it, and if you don't accept it, you're not going to be a good actor. Like, you can go through
Yeah.
all the workshops, everything that you want. You will not. That experience, if your script calls for that,
Yeah.
then and if you can't get something out, if you can't bring it to life, you're not going to get the result or the legendary, showing that you want.
Might as well be AI or a bot,
Yeah, nothing. Fake, soulless,
basically.
empty.
Yeah,
Dollar
basically,
store.
it's like,
Dollar store freaking acting, literally.
hmm. I do like the dollar store though.
Yeah,
But
that was a bad example. I like the dollar store too. That was a bad example. You can hate on me. I don't give a crap. That was a terrible example. Just garbage, a little trash. There we go. There you go. Yeah.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
Dollar store
Wow.
has some good candy, so I can't.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah. Forget me. That
No,
was a
no,
bad example.
no, it's good. It's all good. Like, even, the funny thing, Delta has their products there. I didn't even know that. Delta, like the commercial, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
airline.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Wait. Whoa. Really?
Yeah, soap, like soaps.
They have the randomest stuff there.
Yeah. See, now I had to go back to the Dollar Tree. I know my kids, they're like, okay, let's go back to Dollar Tree. But
Mm, get that candy. Mm,
mm. So
mm.
what's next for Mr. Josh Portillo? And what message would you like to give your fans,
Oh
the
goodness.
youth, everybody, the
Um.
upcoming actors, and also our haters?
Well, haters, get used to me because I'm gonna be here for a very long time. And if I'm not in the hub and you're gonna keep hearing about remote voice acting, get used to it. Like I care about what you think.
Right.
Well, actually, yeah, comment on all my videos because I'm gonna have
Please.
probably a YouTube and a Twitch later of streaming. So I'd love
There
to
you
hear
go.
you in the comments. Um, but no, like I mean, plans. I mean, just still auditioning. uh, any projects I'm kind of scared to talk about because I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about them or not, so I can't really say anything about that. There's a few cons I'm doing. There's one that I'm going to be doing soon, but I
Mm.
can't say it on here because I mean it was just put in print that we're doing it,
Okay.
and I don't know if I can announce it until they announce it. So doing that. um Got to make a promotional video for that, so that's gonna be fun. You'll see it in that.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, just a con in Portland, Oregon. Kisu Con, very nice people up there who was nice enough to invite me and be with my friend Abby, who's also a part of Nokotan. We're brother and sister in the anime, which is funny. It's
That's
great.
so
And we're
dope.
Filipino. We're both Filipino.
That's
You
so
know?
cool.
Yeah, Pinoy pride, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I'm then planning I I'm hesitant to say this part or to say this one, but I don't know because I don't know if it'll happen or not. But I'm wanting to go overseas for a convention and help promote Trio in India.
Okay. Okay.
Do that and lay my foundation over there because India hasn't, they haven't really had any American voice actors go over there. So
Right.
that's one area that I'm like, you know, lay my roots over there and yeah, grow from that. And give people advice over there too. So that would be really cool to do that, and that would be sometime probably in February or March. May or may not happen. I don't know. So, but if there's one piece of advice, there's a lot that I could say, but one is to really, I don't. There's a lot in it. I mean, don't give up. Don't give
Mm.
up. Smell the roses. I really honestly would like to pass on my creed.
Yeah.
I mean, that creed saved my family, saved my life. You know, it's and it's and I'll say it again. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't because it's a long creed. Um, but the I guess the core of it. I'll say the core of it just for time's sake is you know fight every day for the dream that you want, for the people that you love. Make it count. Don't rest until you're satisfied. Rest when you're tired, of course. But when you wake up, go at it. Don't stop. Be relentless.
Mm.
Like again, there's so much I can say regarding that creed, but
Wow.
it
Yeah.
can be it's a lot. But the one word that I would say is, or the two words, it's like be relentless.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow, this was a deep conversation, Josh.
Yeah, almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. I gotta go eat.
Yeah,
I
same
think
same
my,
here.
I think my chicken has been in the oven,
Uh-oh. Well,
burned.
well, I'm sorry.
No, 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 no.
I
That's
love
my
the
fault. That's
I
my
love the
fault, Annette.
sauce.
No, it's not burned. I put it in like I don't know, right before we did this, so it's fine. It's all good.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. Um, it was a pleasure having you on NNO 360, and this is just the beginning. And well, hopefully to have you on in the future
Please.
after these different events that are going to pass, so you can talk more about it. Well, be sure to subscribe, like, comment to view all the episodes at NNO 360. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I just created a TikTok account.
Yo,
And
nice.
and please make sure that you follow Josh Portillo. Okay. I've left I'm gonna add all your handles, but you can list them if you like. Where can people find you?
On X, Twitter, at it's at Josh underscore Saitogami. That you spell that Saitogami. Yes, I know it's weird. It's fine. Um, they can find me on Instagram too at Josh Portillo VO, and on LinkedIn, Josh Portillo. Um, Facebook, if you want to get more personal, I guess. I don't know. Josh Portillo, and it's just a picture of my mom and I guess. Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah, you can find me on all those platforms.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, let's continue to support the Unity for Social Justice. Let's free Master Yo and others that need our brothers and sisters that need our support. This has been a broadcast of showing love full circle between NNO 360 and Mr. Josh Portillo. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Salute.
Yay.